What did you realize your parents never loved you? I had been excited about my graduation since the beginning of senior year. My parents knew how much it meant to me. I was valedictorian despite the 2 jobs I worked to help with rent, and the babysitting I did every Tuesday and Thursday so they could go for date nights. They were my family. We would do anything for each other, or at least that's what they told me. I reserved 2 seats for them in the front row, even paid the principal extra so he'd put leather padding onto the armrests so they'd be more comfortable, because I was sure they would do the same for me. Something happened the week before that though. My parents seemed annoyed because I couldn't pay for them. We went to celebrate my 18th birthday, and after my card declined and my dad had to cover the check, he wouldn't talk to me for the rest of the day. The graduation was perfect. I felt on top of the world in my cap and gown. My math teacher, Missy Jacobs, came over to me carrying the frames I requested. "You excited for the speech?" she asked. "Yeah, but even more excited to see my parents proud of me," I answered with a genuine smile. She placed the frames down on the 2 reserved seats, my 2 favorite pictures of me and my parents, and under them, small gift bags for my mom and dad, complete with a handwritten card and gift vouchers for a couple's spa day out. The graduation began at 10 a.m. when my parents said they'd arrive. They didn't like being early. I listened to the principal give her speech while glancing at the door every few seconds. At 10:30, the 2 reserved seats were still empty, and it was time to walk across the stage. When it was my turn, I stood up and fake stumbled, then bent down to adjust my gown. I did it to buy myself a few extra seconds, as if those were the seconds during which my parents would burst through the door. I got my diploma, told the principal my tears were ones of joy, then sat back down. My classmate Tina, who has never liked me, gave me this sad, pitying look. At 11:20, I snuck out of the ceremony and went to grab my phone. I called my mom, no answer. Called my dad, same thing. I sent mom a text that I needed her to answer because it's about my payslip being higher than usual. She called me instantly. I could hear music in the background. "How much higher?" she said in a monotone voice. "My payslip isn't higher," I told her. "My graduation is on right now." "You're on your way, right?" I asked, not sure if I even wanted the truth. Graduation? Yeah, she said, almost not paying attention. "Me and your dad are at the mechanic. The car broke down." I heard our cat meowing in the background. "Why's our cat with you at the mechanic?" I asked, almost in tears. Oh, the guy is calling us over to him. Gotta go, sweetie." She rushed through the sentence and ended the call. At 12 a.m., it was time for my valedictorian speech, in which I had originally thanked my parents. I stood up at the podium, and while I talked, Ms. Jacobs and the rest of my teachers kept giving me these sympathetic looks while glancing at the empty reserved seats. As I got off the stage, I thought about a few months ago when I agreed to start cooking dinners in the evenings, or how at 13 I stayed home and minded the dog for 2 weeks while my parents went on their 3rd vacation that summer, or the college applications I never got to submit because of how much time I spent helping them with everything. When graduation ended, my phone dinged with a message from my mom. "Sorry, sweetie, the car only got fixed now. Sorry we couldn't make it." Dad sent me a badly photoshopped image a few minutes later of our car's windshield being cracked. I remember sitting at the steering wheel in my car, looking out at my classmates walking with their families, tears streaming down my face. I looked over at the gift bags and the framed photos in the passenger seat and threw them onto the ground, however. I drove straight home instead of going to the fine dining restaurant I'd booked and prepaid for 3 people, and it's while turning into our living area that I saw my parents' car turn the corner. But they didn't see mine, so I decided to follow them. They went straight to the restaurant I had booked. At first I was actually happy. I thought maybe they felt bad and wanted to surprise me, but then I was let down once again. My parents didn't wait for me. They headed straight inside to their prepaid seats, where their 3-course menu was already paid for. They told their waiter that the 3rd person at their table, me, had an urgent errand to run and couldn't make it. And just like that, they began ordering food, wine, garlic bread on the side, all while toasting, doing Eskimo kisses, and laughing about how they finessed such a gourmet meal for free. That was when I couldn't take it anymore. I got out of my car and started heading straight for the restaurant. Full story on channel linked below.